Welcome everyone to my new program on CAM, Cable Access Erie Media, here in Erie, PA. And my name is Stasia Ann, and I have a new show out. This is the second episode for Never Quit Hers. That's quit with a hyphen in the middle and hers. Never quit hers. So I'm going to be interviewing women on this show in their 60s and 70s and beyond. We're going to be looking to see if we can find somebody who's still getting it all done at 80 or in their 80s. When I was growing up, my grandma wore rollers in her hair and muumuus or house coats and made great cookies, the best cookies ever. But nowadays, grandmas don't do that. I'm a great grandmother of, it'll be 6 in March, and I'm still doing things, putting on programs, doing my WOW show. I just try to stay active all the time, and so I was inspired to help inspire Erie and the women who are thinking that maybe, well, you know, I retired, so I need to go sit and watch TV or something. No, let's get out there and get things done. So we are still in our 60s and 70s. We're still very active, extremely intelligent, and have ingenious ideas, as you're going to see as we talk back and forth here. So on episode 2, I brought back Linda Laird Staszewski, and this time with her second anthology book, We Choose Joy. And Linda will tell us the story behind the title, but first what I want Linda to do is talk about how she got to doing her second book. So she'll have to tell you first a little bit about 20 Lives Ignited. So this is Linda Laird Staszewski, my dear friend.
Hello all, I'm thrilled to be here and I thank you again for bringing me on. This means so much to me, and you know we have a voice and you're giving me a voice. I'm grateful. Well, this is a second book. It's We Choose Joy, how 22 women went beyond healing to create joyful lives. How that came about was the first book. It was 20 Lives Ignited, how 20 women over 60 are creating success on their own terms. This one is different in that everybody has a story. Everybody, there's not a person on earth that hasn't gone through trauma.
Yeah.
But to have the courage to come forth, to dig into that dark time of your life and go through that pain again, just to help other women, just to let them know they're not alone, is so meaningful.
Yes.
And that's what lies behind the stories in this book. So far, we have given voices to 42 stories. 42. And these are to all help people. As you had said yesterday in our show, you may not resonate with all of them, but you will be able to relate to some of them.
Yes.
And you will feel they understand you, they know you, they've gone through what you've gone through, and they have.
And maybe they're a little further out from whatever the trauma was than you are, so you can see what they used as their stepping stones to get out. It might be helpful to you to work through what you're going through on your own.
Beautiful. Well said.
So please tell us a little bit about the first book so they understand how you got to do a second book.
Well, I'd always thought it'd be kind of neat to write a book, and I even started the outline once. And then life got in the way and it never came to fruition.
Life.
So I lost my job as an industrial engineer, safety engineer also, at the age of 59. I had gone to school 9.5 years of night school after working all day to get up through my master's in professional leadership. So I thought, well, I was hurt about the whole thing, but I thought, well, time to get out there and get another job. So out there I went, all positive. Came back disillusioned, distressed, depressed. Nobody wanted me at that age. They thought, well, she'll be retiring in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But here I am at 73 and I'm not retiring. I've only just begun. So it's just wonderful that I kept myself busy. I had jobs in between, and I came up with 3 businesses. Escape to Create workshops, which was creative crafts, where you would bling up your shoes and your purses and create one-of-a-kind artworks. And also I did motivational speaking, like procrastination, motivation, being your best self. Then I came up with another thing, do-it-yourself craft kits, because I said,
Yes.
Lord, I need more. And so then he gave me the crafts, and then the next day I woke up and go, kits, I'll do kits. Well, it was wonderful during the pandemic because people couldn't get out of their homes and they were hungry for something.
Yeah.
And then they could watch it also on YouTube. And so they're walking them through. If they need to go over something, they just back it up and go through it again. So that was really good, but I wanted more. Came up with Queen's Comfort kits, boxes, pardon me. And what they are is customized gift boxes. Say a person likes cats or dogs, well, I'd find out more information about the type they have, and I would integrate that into each person's box, that what they like best.
That is so interesting and exciting. And it was because of that that I contacted you and asked you to build one for my best friend who lives in California for her birthday. Shelley, you got on the second show. So anyway, I don't know how long I can do that, but 2 shows for Shelley. Anyway,
Shelley.
I met you back when you were doing the craft boxes, and I was at a nonprofit, and we're talking to you about bringing the craft boxes to the women, and then that's when the pandemic hit, and that didn't happen.
Yes.
So. But it's so exciting to me the way that this doesn't work, okay, let's go do that.
That's
kind of like I've been my whole life. So it's like I don't spend too much time worrying about what went wrong here. I'll just go try in a different direction and find something that does work. Yeah.
Searching. What the postage is what really killed me
Yes,
with the boxes,
right.
because it's just soaring so high, and but I was not deterred. Because there's so much out there to do. There are so many things. So I started it's just a Facebook page. I think I have almost 500 people on it. It's Unwavering Women. Live your best, over 60, live your best life. Yeah. And we just share quips and quotes and things, stories and pictures and recipes, whatever we want.
Yep.
It's just a safe place for women.
Yep.
And it's cool.
Yep.
So then, I'm still thinking, what am I going to do with my life? And I heard of an anthology. I didn't know what an anthology was. Maybe you don't either. But what it is, it's where several people, several women in this aspect, will all write a chapter based on a specific theme. And so it just correlates along, and we all do this. And we had our own publisher. We had not our own. Well, we hired a publisher. But the toughest part, I know you're going to ask me about that. Herding in 20 and 22 women to make the deadlines. That was the biggest challenge of all. And I loved all the authors. I loved the authors. They shared their stories so gracefully and with such grit. Now, this book is more of the trauma. And people, I really applaud, because I said everybody has trauma in their lives, but to go back, to be willing to go into that, it hurts, it's painful to go back to that time. But they did it to help others. They did it to help other women, to let them know they're not alone, and there is a way out, and you can live a joyous life. You cannot let the trauma define who you are, nor the rest of your life.
Right.
Got to transcend.
You are not the trauma.
No.
You are someone who went through the trauma.
Well put. Perfectly put.
That's a social worker kind of thing.
Yes.
How in the world did you find 20 and then 22 women? How did you go about that process?
Well, I didn't. I don't think I mentioned on this, but when the Lord tapped me on the shoulder, when I couldn't find an anthology to be in, and He tapped me on the shoulder, and I heard, "Why not you?" I shuddered. I mean, I was beyond terrified. I go, Lord, I can't do that. I don't know how. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I don't even know anything about this. And then I thought, well, would 20 women want to even be in there to live my dream? Would they be willing to? And I thought, well, you gave me this, Lord. This is a gift. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to dig in. And I did. And I did it afraid. And guess what? I got 20 women, 22 for this book. And so I really thought nobody would want to do this, but they did. They paid to be in this, to share their legacy. So we had, and these are successful women.
Yes.
These are not just women that are bored or knit. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with knitting. Crocheting. I used to crochet, but these are women that are still out there, still living their lives.
A lot of them are still working well past retirement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially in this one, a lot of them
Yes,
were working because
Yeah.
this was multi-aged.
Yeah.
This was multi-aged, and I think Rochelle told us that there's 10 years of generations in this book.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, that's amazing that these people are doing this.
Sharing their trauma.
Because they went into their hearts and souls, and I cried when I'm editing. It was hard just to envision, but they did it, and they made it through.
Is it okay if I bring up that there was one beautiful woman who was in both books that we both fell in love with and became very close friends with, and
Always.
and she was in the book about trauma, and then before the book actually even came out, her story is in it, but before the book came out, Tarifa was murdered by her husband. So let's talk a little bit about her and the joy that just surrounded her. There was never being sad or in a bad mood when Tarifa was around.
Never.
Because she was like, aloha.
Aloha. She was just,
Yes.
She was 64, and she looked maybe 30 if you stretched it. She's a model. She was stunningly gorgeous inside and out. And she was one that just wanted to give, to help people.
Everybody.
When we wrote the first book, she carried that book with her everywhere. And she would sell, she was my biggest seller.
Sell them everywhere.
She did. She said, the book sells itself, Linda. And she was just so precious. And she said, people would say, well, what have you got there? And then she just sell them. She just got, they all gained.
It wasn't like a sales pitch. It was just her talking about her story and why she wanted to be in this and how she felt like it could change lives if you read this book.
Yeah.
The first one was, all women over 60 and how you don't need to stop doing what you're doing. And like I said, she did not make it till the second one finished, but she had already turned in her story, so she was able to be in it.
And I can honestly say, you'd say, well, how can you say we choose joy when your dearest friend was murdered? This does domestic violence has opened a new path for us too on what we're both going into now. So we dedicated the book to Tarifa, and you wrote another book. You pulled together and published a book just on Tarifa's tributes.
Yes, all the people that were in the two books with her all wanted to do something, and because she ended up being buried in Canada, a lot of us couldn't go to the funeral. So I put together a tribute book that we have available for her family or anyone who wanted one. That was part of it, and the beautiful tributes and how many lives she touched, how many people. And the one thing I can assure you that Tarifa would say is that she wants you to be joyous about her and the life that she lived and how many people she helped. So I just wanted to dedicate a few moments to Tarifa, so we can move on from that.
Can I just say one more thing about Tarifa?
Absolutely.
Tarifa, the one thing that helps me get through, because we were very close with this woman, this sweet, amazing human being, this soul sister, was that she left her legacy in both books. Mm-hmm. And she will continue to help people when they read about her stories. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
she was also very big on health. And so she had a couple businesses. She was involved in, I can't quote the names of the businesses, but I do know that she had a lot to do with CBD and health healing with plant medicine and so on. And that was another thing that if she saw someone who was ill, she went right over to them. It was like, what's the matter, honey? How can I help you? And she just was such a beautiful soul. She really was. So what was your favorite part of being in charge of We Choose Joy?
favorite part of We Choose Joy was working with the authors again. I believe only 4 or 5 came over to the second book, and the rest were all new people. So it was easier the second time around because the first one was wow tough, really, really, really difficult and a challenge. But the second one went so much smoother because we learned, I learned from it and how to make it better, and we improved it. And these women were, for the most part, team members that would help me so much and surround me and cheer me on, and as I cheered them on, and they would really were caring, very caring.
I saw that like 4 or 5 of them became like your support group.
They were.
And worked behind the scenes to help you be successful. So that was really beautiful to see.
It was.
That's one of the wonderful things that came out of both books is camaraderie and connection. That people, you know, they didn't just get in the book and now they don't have anything to do with the other women. We continue to do lunches and, hey, I'm going to do this project. Do you want to be involved? So it was a really great networking experience, even though that's not why I went into the first book. I wanted to tell my story about surviving domestic violence and that you can go on and have a great, successful life. And I know so many women who they may actually make it to survivor, but I know I went on to thriver, and that's what I want to help people do. So that was my interest in being in 20 Lives Ignited. And so I know that that same kind of camaraderie is going on with the We Choose Joy women.
It is. So we still support, we still want each other to succeed. And we've had a couple of the authors write their own books after that. And one is in, Rochelle is going to, talking about, she's going to do her own book, and then she's talking about doing an anthology. She's out in Colorado with her group of tutors. So it's just a wonderful ripple effect that this is having for all of us to reach out and help, continue to help people.
To help women especially.
Women especially, yes.
So I know that you are moving from doing the 2 anthologies and you don't have a 3rd one in the works right now. You needed a break. So tell me what it is you're going to do. Are you writing your own book? Have you started a new business?
Yes and yes. Yes, I am going to be doing my own book, and it will be based on, again, helping women. But it's just going to be my own this time. It really takes so much to do an anthology. It's grueling. It's very grueling because each person's doing their chapter, but you're overseeing all of the chapters and all of the women and trying to get everybody in on the same page. And people don't come to the Zoom meetings, and that made it very difficult for me because they were losing what we were moving on to.
Yeah, losing information, not knowing they didn't have the information, and then, you know, well, I didn't know. I was like, well, that was your responsibility to know.
And then they're all contacting me individually. I said, it's on our page. Everything is on our private page. It's all there.
They wanted you to repeat what they could see. And you made those so they could watch them later, and they still wouldn't even watch them.
I recorded them. Yeah, that was frustrating. That was frustrating indeed.
But just a part of the growth and the growing of learning how to do that. So what's the new business?
The new business is Influence Hers, capital H-E-R, small s. Influencers, and it's going to be helping women again. We're going to be doing podcasts. We're going to be doing shows like this. We were also on the Sonia Bai show. She was marvelous. So we're going to be doing conferences. We're coming up with a health and wellness, including mental health conference, or hopefully this spring. So we're working feverishly on that. I want to do a retreat in 2025. I'm not saying I'll never do another anthology, but right now it's not in the works. It certainly won't be in 2024. So I just need, I'm taking a class from Paramount Pursuits, and I have on master marketing. And I have my own mentor, Keisha, who is divine, and she's helping me so much with learning and getting through processes, and because we want to be on some big time shows. We want to be interviewed on Good Morning America, Oprah. We want to be in her book club. Sure, Oprah would love us. And then what else? Drew Barrymore, because I like her zaniness, and she cares about people and she cares about animals. Jennifer Hudson, Kelly Clarkson, Dr. Phil. That's how I started with this whole thing, because I was watching a segment and these women were on it. They were tired. They were empty nesters. They had no purpose. They had nothing to do. They felt like non-people. I'm screaming in my house. I'm going, you're valuable. You are worthy. You are enough. You've just begun. And I so wanted to be a guest on his show, to be interviewed, to follow up on that, but he retired. So that taught me the need. There's so much need there. And Tamron Hall, and of course Kelly and Ryan. So we have big aspirations, pardon me, of being on these shows, of spreading the word, of getting this out to help other people. The women need it.
Absolutely. And we are going to be doing some podcasts out of CAM, Cable Access Media, Erie, PA. And it's so exciting that we can do this show on there. They have podcasting. They have so much. So if you're local to Erie, PA, you really need to come down to CAM Media and see all that they have to offer for a very reasonable membership fee. You have all of this at your access, and you can get these valuable messages that you carry in your heart, and you know that people are out there needing to hear what you have to say. CAM Media can help make that happen. So I just wanted to put that out there for sure. You want to be on all those shows, but you also are going to be doing some things out of here.
I am. I'm joining CAM. I'm joining CAM Media because I should have done it a week ago, but it was one of those jam-packed
Wild
weeks. But I have a lot of those, but it's all good because we're getting things done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love CAM. It is Erie's best gem that people do not know about. So.
It's a best kept secret that I shout on the rooftops.
You do.
She knows that I'm always talking about, well, you want to do that, go down to CAM. Go to CAM. They'll help you get that done.
Yes.
So can you tell us, because I heard there is an exciting new endeavor for you coming up on March 25th. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, thank you for asking. I'm still stunned over the whole thing, and I can't believe it, and yet I feel so humbled and so grateful that I was chosen as one of the 15 women making history in Erie, PA by the Mercy Center. And that is a huge honor, and I am beside myself with gratitude for it. That'll be on March 25th.
I don't know a lot about how that all goes, so will you be, on the 25th, will you be talking, or is...
I don't believe so. I had nominated Heidi years ago, and she was chosen.
Yeah.
And they had what they do is, like, I had to go on Saturday and do a 15-minute presentation, which they taped. Then they take segments of that and chisel it down to like 2 or 3 minutes per woman. So then they'll have those up on a screen while we're sitting on stage.
Okay.
Which I will use in the future for book launches, because people overtalk if you don't. And this is perfect to keep everyone at the time allotment.
Right.
So they'll be talking about that, and we'll be giving our thanks. And I'm not quite sure what they're having a reception.
Well, I'm so excited for you, and I plan to be there. I actually moved the date of my WOW program so that I could be there for you, because
that's huge.
So important.
Thank you.
Yeah, WOW is coming up. For those of you in the Erie area, my Women of Word with a few man-made words live presentation. This year we've changed venues. We'll be at Chipper's Seafood and Southern Fusion on State Street. They have a beautiful side room that we're going to be doing our production. It's about an hour long. It's at no cost. So I highly recommend, if you're in the Erie area, if you like poetry, dance, music, please come down and see what we're doing for the community. Well, that kind of wraps things up for today. Thank you so much, Linda, for being here with me. I want to welcome you all back next month to a new episode of Never Quit Hers here on CAM Media in Erie, PA. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you.